I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today. And you froze. You're frozen, my
Yeah,
friend. There you go.
there I am.
I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Anytime, brother.
40 plus years. Did you
Yes.
imagine it would last this long?
Never, back then I never really thought about it. Well, actually I didn't think about it till I hit about 40.
Hmm.
And then I was thinking, oh, it's probably nearing the end of the road, but I was still able to keep going, seeing other old bands like Judas Priest keep going. It's like age in the 80s used to be important. Like if you were trying to make it big and you were 30 years old, you might as well hang it up back
Right.
then. It ain't that way anymore.
Yeah.
So many bands and artists have gone and played well into their 70s. And I mean, look at the Stones.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they're still, a couple of them at least, are still playing.
And you're still going strong and still releasing amazing albums. I wanted to ask you, at what point did you begin working on Of Beasts and Plagues?
Well, I really started working on it. Well, I had been writing riffs like whenever I would warm up, maybe I would come up with a riff and say, oh, cool, I'll record that. I did that ever since the end. I do that all the time. And, but I really didn't sit down and try and write another album until right before the pandemic lockdown.
Hmm.
And we had gotten rid of our drummer, and it was kind of a not cool scene. That it wasn't. It was pretty messy, and
Hmm.
so I remember I was driving home with our singer, and we were talking to our bass player at the time on speakerphone, and I say, you know what? I am sick as hell of going through the rat race and the rigmarole of trying to find new members because our other guitar player had quit like a month before.
Sure.
And I was like, man, screw this. I'm just going to sit down and write an album. And then maybe a month later, if that, the lockdown started.
Yeah.
So I spent basically the whole lockdown writing 80 to 90% of the music for the album. And then came, oof, man, I produced and edited, mixed, mastered the album myself at my studio.
Wow.
And man, I had the worst software problems. That's why it's taken so long.
Hmm.
These songs, at least musically, these songs were all recorded guitar wise and ready to go in 2022
Wow.
for the most part. I mean, I added little things here and there, but between all the technical problems that I had in my studio, and well, it was done in 2025. It took
Wow.
almost a whole year for me to find us a label that I was into to
Hmm.
release the album. There are, I did not want to go with another label that was just going to be like, okay, we'll give you 100 free CDs and bye, good luck.
Yeah.
Do absolutely nothing for their artists, nothing for their releases. I mean, the people at Pure Steel, that our former record company, they treated me really well. They were nice people, but I mean, through two albums of new material and a re-release, I think maybe a couple of reviews, maybe one or two interviews
Wow.
over 5 years. And yeah, it took me a long time to find a record company who I thought would actually do something, and they are. So that's why it took this album so damn long to come out. It wasn't some kind of monster scenario. It was the songs were there other than the vocals, and our
Hmm.
vocalist likes to hear the whole song played out before he writes words so he can get a feel for
Sure.
you know just the way the song feels. But we had that music for so long, and it was just between technical problems and, well, it didn't help matters any of my apartment building burned down.
Wow.
I was able to save a lot. I'm really fortunate. I lost a lot, but I saved a lot. Saved all the studio stuff, but that delayed me a couple of more months
Sure.
trying to find a new place to live and all that. It it was 10 miles of bad road, brother. But somehow, some way, I made it through it.
Well, I think it was fate because this is an amazing album from top to bottom, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. A lot of work sure did go into it.
One of the tracks that really sticks out for me is Shadowcast. I wanted to ask if you could speak on that track.
Hmm. Well, Shadows Cast actually has one of my favorite little lead parts in it. If I remember correctly from what Jeff, our singer, said, it's the song lyrically is about passing the buck.
Mm,
It's like, no, it's his fault. No, it's her
right.
fault. No, it's his fault. And gearing on like politicians and things like that, they're always blaming somebody else. And that's why,
Absolutely.
it's like blame the moon, blame the sun and all that. It's just shrouded in symbolism. But the song itself, that tapping lead in it, I
Mm,
especially like. Yeah, two tapping leads going on in
yeah.
harmony.
Yeah, I think it's a great track throughout, and I think it would be a great one to play live.
Oh, now we don't have that on our set list right now, but you got to figure we have so many songs
Oh, yeah.
that we could choose from. We have right now three songs off the new album on our set list. We have Murder Crows, Kiss with a Fist, and Territory.
And that's
But
funny.
that'll increase.
Kiss with a Fist was the next song I was going to ask you about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another great track.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, when I wrote the music for that, it's not quite, especially certain parts of it. It's not quite as dark as some of the music that I write, or most of the music that I write. In fact, our bass player at the time when I was playing during the lockdown, me and Jeff and Chris, the bass player, actually got together, and I played them some demos, some pre-production demos, and was just like, okay, what do you think of this? Should we use this? Does this need change? Yada yada yada. And he heard what turned into Kiss with a Fist, and he was like, "Since when did you start writing light sounding songs instead of dark?" But I thought that song might end up being the signature song from the album
Mhm.
because it's more straightforward, more something that an over-the-air radio station would play, and it's not super dark and gloomy like a lot of the stuff I write is. I mean, most of my stuff is like the Sabbathy kind of thing, with some
Mhm.
doom metal influence. This one here is just an upbeat, just metal song, not no frills about it. You can headbang or tap your foot to it. There's
Absolutely.
not a lot of time changes like I'd like to do sometimes. And the weird thing about that song is I've heard more than one person comment on that song talking about that it reminds them of Slayer, and I have no clue how that song reminds anybody of Slayer.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer you.
Maybe the intro riff a little bit, but the actual song itself, no.
And I wanted to ask you another great aspect of the album is the artwork itself. Who is responsible for that art?
I'm not even sure. What we did was we uh, we went through. Well, different artists will actually specialize in album cover art, and they'll put up all their art on their website.
Mhm.
There could be hundreds of pieces of art up there that you could choose from that you could buy if you wanted to. And we chose that, and I do not remember whose site it was on. We bought it. We thought it looked cool, and then we had a friend who's a graphics guy, put the logo and the name of the album on it. But no, that wasn't commissioned. Like Crawling Chaos was commissioned from from a guy from, I believe, Spain. It was either Spain or Portugal, and who had done artwork for like some compilations, that underground compilations. And the theme of it was Crawling Chaos was Cthulhu, the H.P. Lovecraft figure. And we asked, I guess he kind of like just drew his vision of Cthulhu. We didn't have anybody do that. We knew what the name of the album was going to be, and we just saw the album art and it's like, man, that looks kind of like a monster in there. Hmm, that looks really cool. We just
Yeah.
got it because we thought it looked really cool, and it was very inexpensive as far as artwork was concerned. I think that Crawling Chaos artwork costs like $400, maybe even a little bit more. This was under $100.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, it was just a matter of looking through a whole bunch of artwork, like three of us, and Jeff found that one, and everybody agreed, yeah, that's great.
And I'm happy as hell that you are the second Ohio band that I've interviewed this week. I am
Oh,
so
really?
happy. I
Who
wanted
else?
to, Emerald Rage was the other band I interviewed.
Oh, yeah, we played with Emerald Rage a few
Yes.
times.
Yes, they have a new
Yeah,
one
they're
out too,
cool.
and it's amazing.
Yeah, they're cool guys. Good band. Haven't seen them recently. Haven't seen them for quite a while. They've been around a while too. We played
Sure.
with them in like 2017, or through like 19. So they've been around a minute too. I don't think they've been around no 40 plus years,
No,
but
but they've been a while around the minute though.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well. And speaking of Ohio, I wanted to ask you, as a band, do you feel that you had the opportunities provided for you in being in Ohio in comparison to being from California, New York? Do you feel the same opportunities were here or not?
Absolutely not. Well, I mean, the only other than more recently, there's Hell's Headbangers,
Hmm.
a small company from Cleveland. Other than that, the only other record company was Auburn Records. Bill Peters' old record company back in the '80s that had like Breaker and Shock Paris,
Hmm.
Purgatory, bands like that on there. Especially like back in the '80s, unless you were on Auburn Records, you an original band, it was almost impossible to find a show. Even for free, all the clubs wanted were cover bands. And yeah, there weren't that. I mean, and this kind of goes to show you. We tried to get a hold of Bill Peters, get on Auburn Records. He never responded. The record company that ended up signing this was from LA, Azra Records. So we're in Akron. The Cleveland metal label just never responded.
Wow.
And so we get signed by a record label out of LA. Go figure. That kind of shows you about what the opportunities were around here.
And This band has spent so much time on the road and has had put on amazing shows. I wanted to ask you, what, what if you were in a group of other bands, what would be your favorite road story?
I'm not sure I get what you're exactly saying. Something that happened to me.
Yeah, during the course of your time in the band,
Okay.
what's your favorite road story?
Okay. We were, it's not really a road story because it happened locally at a
Mm,
show, but there used to be uh, uh, an Agora in Akron,
yes.
Cuyahoga Falls to be specific, the Akron
Mm,
Agora, and it was a big, really nice venue.
yes.
So we were practicing one day. It was like a Wednesday, and the guy who did bookings for the Akron Agora was like, "Hey, we really need a band like now. We need an opening band." And we're like, "Well, we're practicing anyway. I mean, we might as well
Yeah.
just go up there and play." So we go up there to play, and we ended up opening up for a hair metal band. And this was not uncommon in the 80s either, where bands would try to sabotage each other
Sure.
to try to make themselves look better. They did everything they could to sabotage our show. They even got like a bunch of people to get up in front and heckle us and shit,
Wow.
and not turning mics on properly, and it was just a shit show. And I was pissed off. I was like, man, we're doing the venue a favor and then we get screwed.
Yeah.
So I went home. I went home right after the show. I didn't hang. I was just pissed off. So I go home about midnight, hear this pounding at my door. It's our original singer bass player, Chris. He's standing on my porch laughing his ass off. I opened up the door. I'm like, dude, what's up? Apparently, our drummer had called a few guys that he worked with to come down and see us last minute.
Hmm.
They came down to see us. Brian told them what the headlining band had done. They snuck backstage and pissed all over their clothes, in their boots, on their leather jackets. Oh my God. So be careful who you screw over. Don't screw over the master.
That's right. And speaking of this, the time that this band has been together, I wanted to ask you, with your knowledge up to now, what would you tell a band that was starting out today? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, number one, always be professional. Um, clubs want to see bands that are on time. They know what they're doing. They're practiced. They know what they're doing. They come in, they play their show. They don't cause any trouble. That's the way you get more gigs. And the other thing is to always be good to fans. I don't care if you've had a bad show, if you're in a bad mood, especially if you start traveling, that could very well be the one and only time that that person ever gets a chance to see whether you're cool or a cool person or not.
Right,
And if you're a dick to them, then they're going to think, oh, that's the way he is all the time.
right.
Just always be good and be willing to put the work in, because it's a lot of work. But you got to love it to really
Sure.
put the amount of work into it. I mean, I was never into it to get laid or to party and all that. I was into it because I love the music and I
Absolutely.
love to write, and I love to write music. And for some reason, I'm pretty good at it.
You're
Always
very
have.
good at it. And
And, and, yeah. yeah, be willing to put the work in, you know, and if if you're not willing to put the work into it, it isn't even worth it.
Right.
Because what work if you put just a little shit and a little amount of work into it, that's going to all be wasted because you got to practice. You've got to, get to practice on time, get to shows on time. You know, I mean, practice sometimes is not fun. Sometimes it's a grind, but
Yeah.
but you have to go through that grind to get the band tight, get better, and be able to actually put on a good show
Sure.
or write good music,
And
whatever you're doing.
yeah, and it's so true because, you know, to me, I've always thought that the equation was this: little effort equals little results.
Yeah, yeah.
So and in the release of this album, it's been doing so well and getting great reviews. I wanted to ask you, what's the next step for you now?
Well, we've had a lot of lineup turnover. Um, Most recently, our the drummer who was on the Plagues album,
Mm.
got lung cancer for a third time.
Wow.
And this time we were headlining a festival in Pennsylvania, and we stuck with him the other two times through treatment and all that, and he recovered and was able to play. But he was not feeling good again, and the doctor thinks that there is a very good chance that he had a small heart attack on stage.
Wow.
Um, we were playing an outdoor festival, and it was
You froze on me again, my friend. As far as his condition is concerned, is there a way that people can donate to help him in his medical costs?
well, he's never done any type of GoFundMe or anything like that. Um, the well wishes that when we announced it last year that he had to leave the band, it was right, yeah, it was right around this time of year, maybe a couple weeks short of being a year. um I know that the well wishes that he received from a lot of people he didn't
Yeah.
even know, that they meant a lot to him. And since he had to leave the band, he was back into remission of lung cancer, then got it a fourth time.
Wow.
And he went through treatment again. And right now he says he's not feeling too bad. Um, he'll know, like, I think it's next month, whether once again the treatment was successful. But yeah, he keeps beating it and getting new. But every time that happens, it causes irreparable damage to your
Sure,
lungs.
absolutely.
And but the guy still lives on his own. He's not having to have any assisted living or
That's
anything like that.
amazing. Absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
he is an inspiration. I'll tell you what, the attitude that he has had through this whole thing has just been unbelievable. And his name is Craig Gribben. And I mean, no matter what happens to him or us, he will always be a member of the Axemaster family.
Absolutely.
You know, so what getting to the original point of, we've had a lot of turnover of band members for one reason or another. And we got a new drummer, and we're to the point now to where we can realistically play an opener. We don't have enough songs to be, or enough songs tight to be a headliner
Right.
yet. But we have enough to open a show, half hour, 45-minute set, something like that, somewhere in there. So we're just trying to get shows right now. Um, what's funny is we've gotten a lot of offers for out of state shows that, I mean, with these gas prices, we
Oh,
just
yeah.
can't do.
Sure.
You know, we were discussing it, and we were saying, that one of them's up in Michigan, about a 5-hour drive, and decided, we would need like $400 in expenses,
Hmm.
because we have to have a place to stay overnight,
Sure.
and we would have to have guaranteed $400, and club owners don't generally give that kind of money to headline bands unless they're like bigger,
Hmm.
so unless somebody can do that, we're kind of stuck on local gigs for right now, because Cosmic Fire is has done more promotion for this album than God, probably every other Axemaster album put together. They've done more, but they're a smaller company and they don't do like tour support
Hmm.
or anything like that. So we would have to have that in order to be able to play around.
Right.
Didn't used to be that way. We played a lot of out of state shows, back in the 2010s, but prices have just raised so much since
Oh,
COVID, and it's making it a lot harder.
and we've talked about this amazing album. I wanted to ask you, what is the best way to get a copy of this album and any merchandise that you have?
Well, you could always, right now we're about to try to get more merchandise because between all the turnover of band members and that, we haven't played a whole lot of shows, so we didn't keep our merch up.
Mhm.
But as far as the album, you can get it directly from us. There's a place in New York City. Animated Insanity Records is carrying the record for North America. Um, and I know I just saw the other day that the album is going. I don't know why it's not coming out when the album is actually released, but it says on Amazon that it will be available on Amazon on the 28th.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then that's just for fans in North America. Overseas,
Mm.
it's a whole different thing because that's our record company's in Europe. So they can get it from the record company, and there's a bunch of other places over there, especially in England, that I've seen that are carrying it. So
Yes, in Europe it's already hit. Um, I've seen reviews from there, many great reviews that I've read are from there.
yeah, we've been in some. The album has been in some really big magazines that it's not easy to get into. Hundreds, if not thousands, of bands are trying to have releases put into magazines like Rock Hard in Germany,
Hmm.
and we were in Rock Hard with a review. So just the fact of being in a magazine like that for a band like us is a big deal.
And I wanted to ask you lastly, if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
We love you. We love you. You are the reason why that this album is coming out, because of all the people who supported us on Kickstarter, and we really, really, really appreciate that. And I mean, we're as much fans as we are musicians.
Sure.
We always love the fans. To me, one of the coolest things, especially when you're playing out of your local area, is meeting the fans.
Yeah.
Meeting new people and then all that. I just love it. And we love the fans. We've gotten a lot of support throughout the years. I mean, the number of people who are sharing things online about the videos that Cosmic Fire put out for this album and about, the album release itself. It's been being shared all over by friends and fans, and we really appreciate everybody out there who supports us.
Well, as a fan, I wanted to take a moment to thank you. I was so happy to hear this album and to hear it from top to bottom because it's absolutely one of my favorites that you've ever done.
Well,
And
thank you.
I can't wait to see what is ahead for you, my friend, because
Yeah,
this is,
I am still writing new stuff. I haven't been so much lately because I've been working on promo for this album and working on, well, we lost our second guitar player, so now I'm the only guitar player, and I've had to write a bunch of new leads and
Mhm.
get used to re-practicing the songs, playing them in a different way a lot of times. So I haven't done a lot of it in the last couple of months, but I have one song in particular that I've written most of that I really like a lot. So I mean, I'm still at it. It doesn't stop. I'm really looking forward to getting back into it like really heavily.
Well, I look forward to it. And I want to thank you again for taking your time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it.
And I look forward to another 40, my friend.
If I had my way, I'm going to play as long as I'm physically capable of playing, and I'm doing great. So there's no end in sight.
That's good. You take care, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well. Rock
Cheers.
on, man.
Rock
You
on.
rock.